Years old.
This is some footage of Reba with her grandson, Braveheart's Vindicator, as a puppy. That's Vindicator as a puppy. He was an awesome looking puppy. He was an awesome dog. I had bred him to Broadzilla and produced a cool litter, but most of the pups had shit hips and extreme dog aggression. I got 2 of those puppies back, and they were so bad I could not find homes for them, and I couldn't keep them in any kind of a chain link kennel. They'd fly through it and try to kill each other. And Spawn came out of that, but he went to Pat. Pat could control it and handle him, even though he had some incidences there even before he was a year old where he really chomped on a female and messed her up. I kept Vinzilla. She was, normal. She wasn't too bad dog aggressive. But I had another female in there. Beautiful dog. She had a kink tail. Big, beautiful bitch. But her pen hip came back in the 6s, which is weird. His pen hip was 46-46. Broadzilla's was 28-36. I'd bred Broadzilla already twice and gotten very good results from her, but it was more of a line breeding, more tight, or I should say they were inbreedings. Her to Hobo and her to her nephew Bear. But when I did this breeding with him, I got different type, like Spawn and Vinzilla kind of have a little bit more standard flair to them, and I just didn't think, because Vindicator didn't have really anything behind him with decent pen hips except my stuff, and they weren't even that great. Reba's 5'0", 5'9". The male I bred her to, the big male, was 4'5", 5'2", and because Vindicator is a quarter Man of War blood, total standard, solid brindle. A lot of idiots think they look just like pit bulls. And then he was 3/8, or no, he was a quarter painter and very little Johnson. I mean, he had Johnson in him, but it wasn't even half. And I thought, well, I can't get any consistency from that, and I don't want to be throwing these crazy dog aggressive dogs, and I didn't want to throw bad hips. But now I understand that it was an outcross almost. It wasn't a very tight breeding, and when you do that, you got the universe of genes. If everything doesn't align perfect, you get different traits here and there. Doesn't mean that if he wasn't line bred that he could produce well. But he was one of the most intelligent dogs I've ever had. He was at my house, he was a true 125 pounds, about 25-inch dog. He was pretty mastiffy looking, but I'd bred him to another female off my yard that was really huge, and it produced my friend's dog Lily, and she looked like just a big Johnson Colette style female. And there was a couple of pups in there that were really nice. And and Jeff Daly bred to him. And he claimed that none of the puppies turned out. But the few that I did see, I found he'd lied to me and kept a female till she was almost 10 months old. He told me that, oh, none of them turned out, they're all crappy, so I sold them all. But he kept this big female, and the reason why I found out was he told these people to call me to use one of my studs, and I thought, well, that's pretty weird. Jeff Daly never does that. And when the lady asked me, she lives here in St. Louis, when she was talking to me, she said she had a Daly bitch, a big female, and she said she was 90 pounds. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. There's nothing in Daly's yard that's 90-pound females. So then she told me, oh, she's from Vindicator. Oh, here's that female there is Destiny's Child, and that male is the beginning of my Alu bulls. His name was Mojo. I call him King Dick the First. I love that dog. He was a great dog. His mother was a 27-pound Yankee Staff, and his father was an English Oldie Cross. Every Alu bull goes back to him multiple times, and every Shorty bull, or most of the Shorty bulls, were started from his daughter, Panda. But that's Destiny. You can see she was a tiny bitch off of Mufasa and Daly's Hot Toddy. But she was a muscled up bitch. She had no muzzle. I got her originally because I just wanted to do this breeding here, which was one of the first Alu bull breedings I did. Produced a really nice female I had called Mona Lisa. There's Vindicator. He was great with other dogs. Wonderful temperament. He just a typical Staffy bull. Happy-go-lucky. He was about 52 pounds. You can see Destiny was like, I think 60 pounds tops, maybe 62 pounds. Like I said, I originally got her from Kenny at King Mufasa Kennels to breed to this dog Mojo. There's Vindicator as a puppy. And for my Alu bulls. And then I had her a while, and she's such a freaky, she was a drivey bitch and a sweetheart. She didn't have very good structure, but I started thinking about that breeding with, I had an inbred Broadzilla son that was the opposite of her. He was tall, medium length muzzle, and I was thinking, see, I was always disappointed that I could never get Broadzilla bred to Mufasa. So I was kind of hell-bent on breeding Mufasa daughter to Broadzilla son, and it actually worked. I mean, that's where Go Ballistic came from, and regardless of what idiots want to say about Go Ballistic, his record of producing speaks for itself. Nowadays, no, I never would have done any of this stuff because I realized that the gene pool is so screwed up. You need to straighten things out first before you start concentrating on it. Although concentrating and refining a gene pool is always a smart thing to do if you're a breeder. Nowadays, I would never have bred her probably. Or I would have bred her to the most functional, polar opposite blood on the planet from her, a performance dog or something. But for my Alu bull, she did very well. It's funny, I bred English bulldogs to American bulldogs to begin with my Alu bulls. And I got these frickin' huge dogs. I was trying to keep them around 50 pounds. But when I bred her to him, oh, every dog I had in there was perfect. They were like 45 to 50 pounds. Okay. I think this just repeats. Oh, here's oh, in a minute here, you'll see Panda's mother, my other Alu bull that I bred Mojo to produce Panda. There she is. That's Mini Mia. She was small like the Staffy bulls. She was like 40 pounds maybe. So I bred those two together, Mojo and Mini Mia, to produce Panda. And then they took Panda and bred it to French Bulldogs and cropped the ears and called them Shorty Bulls. Those two dogs would rival some of my American Bulldogs as far as drive goes. Hell, she looks just like a Shorty Bull with her ears. Mojo is trying to breed everybody. There's a good shot of him. He was a beautiful dog. Mufasa Tati, Destiny's Child. Her call name was Cara. I think Tony Mancera was calling her Queen Cara. Some shit like that. I don't know what that means, but I sold her to Patrick and Brandy, and then they did breedings with her. I think they bred her to some big old Kennedy dog they had, and that's what produced Bishop. You can see she's in a lot of pedigrees. She looked like what you'd hope to see a if you took an English Bulldog and crossed it to a Pit Bull. If you got the bulliest version you could ever get out of that, that's what she looked like. Okay. Oh, she's repeating the same ass thing. Alright.